I'm getting fire emojis on the video, innit?
Yeah.
All the boys. And I just sat and watched this video in pure silence of where we're at now in life, where I had a cup of tea, I had my sandwiches. I said to my girl, I said, babes, don't bother me, I'm trying to watch this. I was concentrating on every part of that video, because a part of me, I had so many questions. Yeah, bruv. Thanks for coming on the pod, bruv.
You're welcome.
This is the first time we properly have met.
100%. I've met you before, but you wouldn't remember.
Where did you meet me?
I was a fan still, and I was like, yo, Mo, let me get a picture.
I gave you one though, innit?
You did.
See? That's how you know I'm not one of these, you know the ones that are like, yeah, welcome.
That was time ago.
Where was that?
It was at Love Box Festival. It was
oh,
a long time
okay.
ago. That would have been time.
Boy. I just started doing the videos there.
Yeah. Time.
You know what was mad about going that actual day, Love Box?
Mm-hmm.
That was like my first time going to like a festival.
Yeah.
And I just done the videos. So I remember on the way there, I went with some friends, and people kept stopping me like, "Bro, like you do the videos, like a couple of cans and stuff." And I was like, yeah, man. And then my friends it's such a weird day because my friends just left me. So I'm there doing pictures and videos with people, and I bumped into another friend of mine, Javan. And then, you know when you go with people and then you're like, I've lost them, innit? So I was scattered. Going to festivals at that time, that was 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
So wait, was you performing at that festival?
No.
I
was just there.
Oh, is it?
I swear. There was
I know Kano was performing at that festival.
Kano was on the stage, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And we was in your neck of woods, innit? East London, innit?
Yeah, Hackney.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, I'm from Plaistow, but we was in
from Plaistow
still. Yeah.
Okay. But you're not in Plaistow no more?
No, I live in Essex.
Yeah. I can hear the twang. I can hear the twang, bro.
Listen, that twang. Listen, when you're from East London, I tell people all the time, it's not... I don't know, you could call it Cockney, but East London's got its own twang.
The black people in East London have this... It's like this Caribbean Cockney twang. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's East London.
And you guys say words that they don't say anywhere else.
Like what?
So like there was growing up, there was a muck. I'm not a muck, bro. That I remember Dizzee saying that one.
It's a mutt.
Is it a mutt?
Yeah.
I'm not a mutt.
Muck was Dizzy's remix.
Oh, okay. See, I've never known this, bro.
No, it's a mutt with a T.
See, this is why we need people like yourself, the grime historians, you know, that can clear up what it is.
Dizzy remix that one.
Oh, that makes sense, man. Okay, that makes sense, man. Yeah. So you're from East London.
Yeah.
You grew up in a household of 5 brothers.
Yeah.
5 brothers. What was that like? 5 boys, all like close, similar ages. Yeah. Like in East London. How was early life?
Well,
like
boisterous,
back then?
very boisterous. I'd say. Like, it's just
because you're middle,
the
right?
middle child. Yeah.
So what's it like for the middle child? Because I'm the baby of the family. Yeah. Innit? So you know the babies of the family, we get the best treatment. Do you know what I mean? We get the protection from mum and dad. Yeah. So what's it like for the middle child amongst 5 other boys?
Well, at one point I was the baby, innit? So
okay.
Yeah, I kind of went from being the baby to the middle child, but I don't know. I feel like I still got a bit of middle child complex. Yeah. I feel like that still lives with me today, but it's cool. I'm good.
Was there a lot of fighting, wrestling and that?
Yeah, there was always
That's all I can picture is bare fighting.
No, you know what? Me and my brothers, we got on quite well, but obviously there was moments where, you get me, boys will be boys. So.
Yeah. So you grew up with 5 brothers and your dad's a musician, right? Yeah.
Drummer, reggae band. Yeah, man.
So being around music at such an early age, was that kind of like your introduction of, or I guess it's like, led to what you're kind of doing now and like your family does now in some ways, doing music, but like what was that introduction like at that stage? Because there's, you know, it's like yourself and 4 other brothers. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I think, I don't know, I definitely took to it more than the others at that stage when I was growing up. I think I travelled a lot with my dad to where they was playing. I would be at their rehearsals a lot. I paid a lot of attention to what they was doing. I'd try and go on equipment. Whenever there was equipment at my house, I would try and use it. So, I definitely took to it a bit more, paid more attention to it than my brothers at the time.
Did you ever play instrument? Because your
No.
dad was a drummer.
Yeah, I think I tried, maybe, but my attention span wasn't that great. I don't think I took to it, to be honest, because anything that I do enjoy, I really give it a good go. So I don't think I really took to the instrument side of things. I was always playing around with a drum machine though. So
Yeah. Bro, I bought a drum machine,
Yeah.
probably about, 3 years ago.
yeah,
Because I didn't know, right, with a drum machine, that one, you have to load in the sounds,
yeah,
but it's not as straightforward as just going like bap, bada, bap, bap,
Yeah.
bap. Bro, I was fighting for my life trying to get a snare and a kick.
yeah,
And then you got, because in my head I was thinking, because I see the people that do on YouTube where they go boom, cat, 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 boom, cat, da, boom.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, I could do this. Listen, it's not a joke, you know?
yeah.
It's like a real artistry in itself.
100%. But if it's your first time, I think it would have been difficult for anyone. And those people who started would probably started just the same as you. So
Yeah,
you would have got used to it. You just
No,
had
but
to
I thought they would just load the tracks in, man.
No, nothing's going to be that easy.
I thought all the tracks, as one guy who was making a rap beat,
Yeah.
it's quite a viral video. He was
Yeah.
making this rap beat on like a news channel, and it sounds like kind of like one of them Dipset kind of beats with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sample. And because I see Kanye West do it in like a few videos, I was like,
Yeah.
I could do this, bro.
You probably, to be fair, you probably could. You just need to be around the right person to show you what to do. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's probably all it was.
Yeah,
I mean, trying
yeah.
to work it out on your own, it's going to feel
Oh,
super
bro,
technical.
I was fighting for my life. In my head, I was like, yeah, come on, bruv.
Yeah.
Time to be producer mode,
Yeah,
man. Oh man. So you get a drum machine,
Mm-hmm.
you're around music with your dad, you've got your brothers, because your mum's a teacher as well.
Yeah.
So how does like music then start becoming a bit more serious? Because I guess it's like if you're around family with music, you know, your mum's a teacher, very disciplined and stuff, and you've got your brothers around. I don't know if does that lead to like distractions in a sense of like you're saying like with the wrestling and play fighting to the point where you're like when was the light bulb moment of like I want this to be serious and I'm good at this thing?
I think for me, when I first started, my cousin was DJing and he was young. We were the same age, we're like months apart. Must have been 15, and I saw him mixing 2 jungle records together, and I couldn't work out how he was doing it. I was like, how are you doing that? This is sick.
Yeah.
And he was trying to show me, but I didn't kind of get the hang of it, but I was surprised that he knew how to do it. So when I learned how to do it and I figured it out, I think when I took it outside of my home and I saw people was shocked that I was 15, them times, like DJing now is a bit more common, but to be doing it at that age with vinyls, there was a lot of novelty around me. It was kind of like anywhere I went, like show them what you can do to the elders, and you know what I mean? So I was like the little prodigy at the time. So I think that's when I started to really enjoy it. And it took me away from whatever else was going on around, you get me? Yeah, I just locked myself in a room and just focused on that, what I was good at. And from there it went. I always felt that I could do something with it.
Yeah. Because I guess the distractions, you're talking this is Plasto in like late 80s, 90s.
Not late 80s, don't add them years onto me. But no, mid-90s. I'm in teens. I'm in my teens. I was born in the 80s though, but mid-teens.
So what's Plasto? What's your environment like now? Because East London is a different East London now than it was, you know what I mean, when you was a teenager. So to stick by something as music, what's your environment like at that time? Because it's like anything, when anyone takes to a craft, you also have, you know, I'm going to do this after I get back from school or whatever you're doing or playing football. But there's also, like, wherever you grow up, there might be madness going on. Do you know what I mean? So what's Plasto like at that time?
Well, Plasto was, it's a different time where people didn't have social media, phones and things, but we had a lot to do. There was youth clubs and things like that, but there was also the other distractions outside of that, which was easy to get mixed up in because there was things to do, but there wasn't, it was a different time. It was rough at times. Yeah, it was rough.
What's in the water in East London though? Because the amount of talent that comes out of East London, especially, you know, during like the rise of grime, because I felt like garage didn't really know where people were from when it came to UK garage.
Yeah.
It was like, there's this song, they're talking about flowers, It's a Rainy Day. There's this other song, Rewind. I don't know where anyone's from, but this sound is like, I remember I was still quite young at the time, but Grime, it's like, I knew everyone was from East. I just knew this. It's hard to explain. Like, everyone was from East. Like, everyone. It's like, oh, Lethal, East. Kano, East. D-Double, East.
The sound originated there, so I think it's a natural thought process to just assume that everyone's from there, but I think it was definitely birthed in East London. I just think that's just a culture thing of people wanting to rap, you know, everyone doing everyone's lyrics in the playground and stuff. And people wanting to express themselves in a more lyrical way that wasn't like the typical garage bars. And I think what happened when everyone was doing that over garage, the garage lot didn't like it. So it was sort of a rebellious thing that, all right, cool, we'll just DIY it, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we started making our own tunes and everyone started rapping over garage, basically. But that style ended up becoming grime.
So at that time, you know, you come from a music background. Plasto is where you're from, where you've got, you know, whatever's happening in like any area is going on. But also, you have this emerging sound. And of course, at the time, you probably was just like, look, it's just a sound, innit? We don't know that this is going to be even grime then. Do you know what I mean? Did it even have a name back then?
When it first started, it was this dark garage. I don't know how the grime.
You know, I've heard this, but the reason why I asked, because I know you're from like East, and you're a pioneer in this scene. So it's always good to hear it from like what's the phrase, from the horse's mouth, or if you want to call it that, of like, because we know it as grime now. Yeah. But then, wasn't there other words that it was called as well?
Well, some people was calling it N.A.S.T.Y and things like that. But I think grime is what stuck. Grime is what stuck. Yeah.
Because as a DJ, you was playing like drum and bass in garage, right?
Yeah.
So you're playing like what's popular at the time. And, you know, you start forming like a group. Yeah. Like, how does this then become like, okay, it feels like it's getting real now? Because I guess it's like once you form a group, it becomes something you do with your friends. Like, this is a bit of a vibe. You know, when did it feel like it started to get like, right, like people, like someone from Birmingham listen to us, like.
Yeah, I think we travelled a lot. That was crazy, but it became the norm. I think travelling to Milton Keynes, Birmingham, or wherever, Manchester. I think the Sidewinder tapes helped a lot. Deja Vu helped a lot. Like radio stations recording tapes and people sending them up to their family out the area. But I feel, to answer your question, when I felt that things was changing and that we could be onto something, but even though it's still in an infant stage, I think was when we was pressing our own records and selling them, and people was buying them, and off the back of that, when people was getting signed like the Dizzies and the Kanos, I think that's, and Wiley, of course, the Lethal had Pal, More Fire crew had a tune out. I think the More Fire, big up Maxwell as well, because he got Serious signed really early, so that gave people a bit of hope. Obviously, they're so solid, but I think the More Fire was the turning point. The More Fire crew, oi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think that's sort of pricked everyone's ears up in terms of we can do that too. And then it starts to feel
Did it feel like that because that was a crew at the time as opposed to an individual like Dizzee?
Potentially. It was a crew, and it wasn't the typical garage. Grime probably wasn't birthed as in terms of a name at that point when More Fire blew up with Oi. You wouldn't have called that grime. I don't know what you would have called it, like garage maybe, which is why that tune's sort of universal. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So
it's crazy with Oi because, confession, I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
I used to tell people I was in that music video when I was in school. And I was not in that music
video. Why did you say that?
You know why, yeah?
Saw someone.
There was a guy in the music video. He's got this Nike zip up top. I had the same top. Yeah. You can't really tell his face to yourself. So it was my claim to fame. Like, I'm in that video, you know? Yeah. People believe me in school. Yeah. Really? Yeah, that's me, bro. Pause it. Couldn't really pause back then, innit?
That's crazy.
Couldn't pause it back then. Yeah, that's me in the video.
Yeah.
It's so funny the way he said, why would you say that? Yeah,
No,
man. I said, I'm in the video, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, now that grime is becoming, I say it doesn't even have a name at this point, but you've got crews, you know, you've got individuals doing their thing. Like, where do you start to position yourself? Because you're a DJ, and, you know, from what I remember back in the day, like, it's like the DJing is a lot different now than what it was back then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, even being a grime, or even at the time wasn't even grime, like being a big time DJ, like I didn't even know what a lot of DJs look like. I remember the first time I seen DJ EZ, and I said, "Raw, this is him." I couldn't believe, because I'd listened to, you know, the mixes back in the day. Do you know what I mean? DJ EZ, like, but I didn't know what he looked like, and it was very much like, I don't know if you can agree with this, but I think it was like a really interesting transitional point where I felt like, from judging it from hip hop, where DJs were like the main focal point in some ways, and then it went to like a transition of like the rapper became, or the front person was like the focal point in some ways. How did you start to position like yourself as a DJ?
I think my main thing was, I was well aware that to stand out as a DJ, I need to be different. I think EZ, I've been a fan of EZ from the beginning, and seeing his style stood out to me. It's like how you make a statement as a DJ. Man. You don't have words. How can you stand it? What makes you different? So I realised my style was exciting anyway. So working with MCs brings up lots of complications in terms of how much you can do within a mix. Like, no one wants to be MCing and you're there mixing for 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what can I do to stand out? So it was finding ways to stand out within like a little 8-bar, like quick trickery within that, get it out and stand out that way. So I think that was my voice within the audio. Do you know what I mean? So I focused on that, and I really zoned in on that. Throughout the whole Nasty Crew period, I think that's what made me sort of stand out without speaking.
Where did the name come from?
What?
Mac 10.
The honest truth.
Yeah, go.
Like, it was so random. I was on a train. Like, I was on a radio station with my brethren at the time, and I used to use my name. My actual name was N.A.S.T.Y. Ramsey. My parents called me N.A.S.T.Y. Yeah. So the person on that station who owned it said like they don't like that name, and I couldn't use it because there's these garage DJs, Ramsey and Fen. It's too close. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it's my name. Anyway, I was like, I need to change my name. So I was just on the train, and literally I just thought Mac 10. Yeah, Mac 10. That's my name. I didn't know. I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was, and it suits my style. It suits my style. So I think that's all it was. It wasn't
because I always have to ask these questions of how people get their names, and it's never what you think.
Yeah, no, literally. Just
I know it's Mac 10 in it.
Yeah, like, it just sounded dope on the train. I was thinking that name come to me, and I thought, that's it.
Because in my head, I'm just like, how'd you get the name Mac 10? What like? Was meant this DJ one time, and someone said, "Bro, put that down, bro. I don't shoot, bro. I don't shoot records, bro. Yeah, like a Mac 10. Mac 10. That's the
I used to get all the time that they thought I was like some big guy, like blah blah blah.
Because it kind of sounds like that as well. And
trust me, I was super skinny then, like proper.
So being a pioneer of such a like important scene and genre, which now is seeing how you can type in Polish grime, you can type in Brazilian grime, Japanese grime. That was something that just definitely wasn't it wasn't possible back then, because there was no kind of YouTube. You're doing sets on Sidewinder. I really started to see sometimes even what people looked like just from like Risky Roads and stuff. That's when I'd be like, oh wow, this is what this person looks like. I've been listening to this person. But when you start forming like a crew and people start finding their own success individually, D Double gets Kano, how is it for you as your position as like, well, I'm the DJ. Do you know what I mean? I can't just go off and just do you know what I mean? Do a solo thing, essentially. So how does that start to make, do you know what I mean, you feel? Because that's why I go back to that transitional point where I feel like DJs were like the stars in a sense of my perception. Even though I wasn't going out, it was like this DJ turns up to the club, you know, records and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And then it goes transitional to pirate radios where now I don't even know what this person looks like, but I know their name.
Yeah.
So how does that kind of make you feel in some way?
I think for me, but like I said, I'll take it back to what I was saying before. I think for me, DJing in itself is super saturated. So you got to stand out. So my whole thing was just go out and make noise in a way that no one else has before. So just in terms of technical ability. So I just always thought that, I think I was blessed in the beginning of when things when everyone separated, that I still had a chance of doing solo stuff. And I was still doing it because of that style that I'm talking about. But I think that main thing there for me, it didn't really bother me because I believed that I could do it on my own. I genuinely did believe that I could achieve it.
Was it also like pushing you into a place of producing records as well?
Yeah,
because I guess that must be like the route where you're like, okay, you know, you've got people doing an individual thing. How can I stand out more than just a DJ? You know, if you're growing up with a drum machine and stuff like this, you know how to make music. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I think I definitely had to find new ways to try and innovate and elevate what I was doing. So yeah, production would have been one, and production definitely.
And how was it producing back in the day? Because you're pressing records, man. This isn't like now where you're like, put this on a SoundCloud and share it around.
Do you know what? A lot more people took a lot more time in what they was putting out because you couldn't just put out garbage. Well, you could, but you know, it wasn't as throwaway. Now you can just literally finish something and upload it, and there was a lot more of a process within that. I think the time of pressing records, I wasn't as into production. I was around Jammer a lot when he was producing. He helped me produce a couple tracks, so I kind of learned the basics from being around Jammer. But yeah, the process has changed. It's a lot more easier to process.
Was there a togetherness at that time? Because there's so many crews and so many people that come from East London when it comes to grime, and people that I've spoke to and they say, yeah, we all went to the same school, or this person played football and that person's dad knows my dad. Like you're saying there with Jammer, was there a togetherness? Because I guess at this point, if there's only a few individuals finding success, I guess there isn't that crabs in a barrel mentality where it's just like we're all out free, everyone's for their own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like if we're talking about specifically the N.A.S.T.Y times, I think at a time, of course, there's togetherness. I think that synergy was unmatched, legendary. You know, I can't work the same with any other MCs outside of that crew. I'll be honest. And I've worked with some legendary guys, and there's like some people who know how to control a set. But when we was together, like working together, there was nothing else like it. Everyone knew when, like, it was just like a team, like a proper team. Everyone knew, you know, you just look at someone and know what time it is. They knew what was, you know. So, but like any crew, things happen, and then everyone wants to go on their own separate ways when things start to feel a bit done over, like too much. Like it's come to a certain point, it starts to feel a bit, I don't know what the word is, but you've done enough, and it's starting to sort of, you know. So, and then I think that natural thing happens where people want to go off and explore their solo careers. So that's just what happened.
It must have been like quite nice though to see people who were like part of your crew do their thing as a solo artist, but no, you're like, like we're in part of the crew as a musician, but like it's actually my friend. Yeah,
it's actually my friend. But you know, when you're young, those things don't hit like that. You don't look at it like that. You look at it like, bro, what about me?
Oh, really?
Yeah, cool, 100%. And there was a lot of that sort of, you've gone off there and left us. You know, that's how it feels. No one really understands that the person's doing the right thing, and no one. Also, it's that mindset of no one really owes you nothing. Like they don't really owe Ask anything, really. And if they can do it, you need to fight and do it too.
Yeah.
But even though it feels like, oh, bring me, but it's not really bring me.
Do you think that's like a young mentality? And also, because it's so new, everyone's discovering this all at the same time.
Yeah, it's so new.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so new. I think that maybe when things like that happen, they could probably be, how they're dealt with could probably be done a bit better. But at the end of the day, the reality is no one owes anyone anything. You know, like, that's it.
Yeah.
You get me? And if you want it, you go and get it yourself. You get me?
Because I it's mad when I think of like growing up and listening to like pirate radio stations, and it felt like if you captured that set on tape, you've captured it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to happen again. There's no, if you listen back, you can get it on YouTube. And like, I feel like now you can search for stuff, everything's saved. In terms of archive, there's a lot of archive that you start to see from, a pioneering time. How much archive do you still have? Because I guess the reason why I ask, because that stuff is probably worth more than its weight now in gold. You know what I mean? You probably got things that like, you're like, bro, this dub plate here, like.
Oh man, it's a sore subject for me. Like, my dub plates got lost. They got lost. Someone must have them. So whoever's got my dubs, return them.
The dub plates,
I've got
man.
a voice now.
Return them, man.
I'm here with Mo. Bring my dubs back. We'll speak. You get me? I'm putting it out there. Return the dubs. Yeah, I don't care. I'll send you my number. Send them to me an anonymous message on Insta or wherever. We'll work something out. But yeah, no, they got lost.
Okay.
So
what you say, lost as in like someone took them, lost, or
they took them, lost.
Oh wow.
I don't know. They're lost. But someone owns them. They're very distinctive.
Yeah.
And they can't be played, some of them. So if you're playing certain tunes, then
you will know
I will know.
Yeah.
So just do the right thing.
Because I feel like grime is in a place now where, now it's like the reason why I bring it up, because that archive now is becoming, the longer time gets on, it's more rare. You know, you're telling us stories of like, we'd make this dub and we'd press it, and even how you would make music is so different to how music is made now. There's certain sounds that I hear and I'm like, oh my God, that takes me back.
Yeah.
Knowing that, people like yourself was like, I actually made that bass.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, you made that bass.
Yeah.
Because now you can just press a button and the
press
bass.
a button and the bass is there. Yeah.
So you're part of Nasty Crew. People are finding their success. You know what I mean? Marcus Nasty, that's your older brother.
Yeah.
I feel like your family name is like is very powerful within music, especially in grime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember hearing the name Marcus Nasty and never knew what it looked like. I never knew, man. I never knew what it looked like.
Yeah.
And some of your younger bro, they come to some of my shows sometimes and stuff as well. But how does it feel like having, what's that pressure like though? Because if you're from a successful family and everyone, like for example Marcus Nasty, I knew of him, I didn't know what he looked like until I got a little bit older, and then I start being like, oh right, there's another brother and another brother and another brother. What does that pressure feel like?
It depends. It's different times in my career when I felt pressured. Like, I feel like there was a stage where I wasn't doing as much. That felt like pressure. Yeah, that felt like a bit of pressure, because there's an expectation of you to do well.
Was that because of what your brothers were doing, or just
100%? I think if my brother's performing well, then it's kind of like, come on, I want to do it as well, but it's like it's not happening. That can feel quite like shit.
I asked because I don't have older brothers, but I could imagine there is a level of like that kind of camaraderie, do you know what I mean, amongst when you're together. of like, yeah, I've just done this. Yeah, yeah. Especially when you're quite young as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm the opposite though. I'll just stay quiet. I don't like to put those things out, like, because it feels a bit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So when we look at like where we're currently at right now, you know, in the middle, you know, being part of N.A.S.T.Y crew, and I know with your older brother in terms of stepping into the sound of like house music and stuff, which is actually mad weird. So I was on the way back from somewhere yesterday, and I seen a flyer for an event you got coming up. I think it's on the 2nd of November.
What one is that?
Maybe 22nd, but it's like Terminal there, Super D. I see your name on there. I was like, oh right, he's on my podcast, man.
Yeah. Good.
But like that transition of different sounds of, you know, like for example, you're playing at a house event.
Yeah.
You also have an audience now, and at that event you're playing, I think it might be a brunch show. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I think it starts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Which, that transition, going from grime, that felt like it was this underground thing. It's in the top floor of a flat of a pirate radio station. As people have told me what the radio stations used to be like.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, it wasn't glamorous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and now you're in a place where, aside from what you're doing online, you're playing events now at 11 a.m. to 7. Your name is front and center of flyers alongside other DJs. And you're now, you know, you're not just playing one sound. It's not just this sound, hoods up, no girls, just man them, just, but hey, reload that. It's now a sound which is, like, it's transcended.
Yeah.
Like, what it started to do with, like, UK funky house. How do you feel like your position is in that space now? Because it must open up a whole different, like, universe for you in some ways as a DJ. You know?
100%. I think one of the good things is, I think this Saturday I'm doing Mac 10 and Friends, which is a whole headline show, 4 rooms taking over the whole of Ministry of Sound, and that's my event.
That's crazy, man.
I know.
Ministry of Sound.
Ministry of Sound. The whole place.
Yeah.
You know, especially to have a resurgence to that level, I think it is really good in terms of, because, you know, I got to a certain place in my career where I couldn't see it. You know, it's like, I'll probably do a few small clubs and a big one now and again. But to have this come back now, 25th of this Saturday, October, Ministry of Sound, and we got, you know, Chip, Wiley, Spyro, all of that, Roll Deep. And then in the other room, like you were saying, Super D, Terminal 4, and in the other room, it's Rampage and Loyal Squad. I think me broadening my palette as such in regards to music is really important for me, because I don't just like one music. I enjoy playing more than one.
Because you grew up, you know, your dad's in a band, he was playing reggae.
Yeah, reggae.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think I still keep it true to what I like, but I like playing funky, I like playing house, and I like playing grime. So I think some DJs will tell you, I think, especially within the UK, it's really like, they've really got this thing where you can only, if you're grime, you can only do that. If you're house, just do that. But I'm blessed to be able to
float around.
And be respected to some degree.
Do you think there's more of a togetherness now compared to, like, what you're saying when you first started? Because when you've got these separate singular crews from different parts of East London, and people know each other, they've all gone to school with each other, but there's probably like a loyalty of, like, you can't really jump on their set, you know? It's a bit awkward.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's still there. People are a bit more respectful now. You do get the odd flare up now and again. But I think we're older and people understand, look, we're here to do a job. We're not, you know, but every now and again someone will do. Because
it's interesting how the crew you're part of and the people that came out of that crew and how they had their solo careers and they were front and center, gone onto many different paths, and now you're front and center now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the striker. You're up top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, ping it. Play it to me long, you know? Like, I'm not fucking around, bro. Like, I don't need the silky stuff. Just ping it up to me up top. I'll control it and bang it in.
You know what? Yeah.
So how does that pressure start to feel now? Because when you've got it's your name, Mac 10 and friends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and when you're saying friends, it's like, it's not just any friends, like Chip, do you know what I mean? Like, now your name is front and center. What does that pressure start to feel like? Because as much as it's a music event, you're also, you know, it's like you're not a one genre DJ. So, you know, there's people who are coming to Mac 10 and friends that are like Soulful House.
Yeah.
You get some people who's like, I'm Grime. That is my thing. So you have a mixture of different audiences that are coming because of what they see online, but also they're like, cool, like friends, that I trust this person as Mac 10 to introduce me to these people that I know. Some I might not know. Someone who is hardcore Grime is going to go into this house room and be like, oh, this is all right, you know? Yeah. You got Terminal in there. This is the Terminal 4. Like, so how does that pressure start to feel in some ways? Because it's not just music now, it's events, it's social media, you know?
Like what you were saying, I think that is a different type of pressure now. I think the pressure now is, I feel also like a sense of, it sounds mad, but a sense of, I've got to watch how I conduct myself within what I'm doing, because I know the position I'm in, for instance, with what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and how I'm presenting things to people. Yeah. And a great example of that is even with like my platform, for instance. I want to make sure that people are heard, like the audio's right, everything like that, because I want people to be presented to people in their best way. So I feel a responsibility in that sense of that, and also a responsibility if I've got a platform and I do want to push house, that I'm going to give people it in its best form. So I'm aware of that. So, and if I do have that, I want to do it because it's authentic as well. I don't just want to just. So yeah, that's the responsibility and pressure that I feel, and I probably put on myself, but yeah, that's it. So,
and how did it? What was the light bulb moment of saying, I'm going to get my turntables, go outside, and I'm going to be in London Bridge or a petrol station, football stadium, you name it. Yeah. I'm going to take this outside. How did that even come about?
Do you know what? That's me just like, it was almost like being given a second chance. I can only explain it as that way. And that I had a new lease of life, and like, I saw the others going outside. They was going outside and stuff. And I was streaming on TikTok as well, but I was just doing it from home and in studios. And the numbers wasn't the same. So I thought, let me go outside, because obviously the numbers change when you go outside. In terms of streaming, the numbers fly up. For some reason, when you're outside, people just find it engaging. Yeah. So I did that. And then it turned into me like just, well, I'm enjoying this. So I have my stuff in my boot. Yeah. And I just pull up and just do my thing. I wasn't doing that much at the time, so it was my thing that I do. And it was just pure passion driving me.
No,
so
it looks like, you know what's mad is the fact that you walk around with the decks in his hand.
Yeah, so that's
you're like mixing on the middle of Oxford Street, just pulling it up.
Yeah.
Like, what problems does that face though? Like, because there's one thing, you know, taking it outside, but it's like you're outside making music. I can't, because obviously you show us the bit where you're like, all right, cut that, that's gonna bang. But I seen you on the middle of Oxford Street, bruv. The first thing that came to mind was like, well, how did he pull that off? How did he pull that off?
You know what? With these things, you just got to do it. My thing is just do it. It's slightly unruly and a bit of like, I've got to get this shot. Like, I'm doing it. So there's the more riskier for me, the better. Like, I want to do crazy. Yeah. You know, so
how crazy does it get that you ever get in trouble with it? Obviously, like with the police or the councils or anything?
I think at the end of the day, I'm doing music. What harm am I causing? You know, I might, if I'm being a nuisance or to something, like, I'm not ridiculous, I'm not going to be, and if someone asks me like, bro, you can't do that here, I'm going to stop. But more time, it's just music. Police don't really say nothing. Sometimes police stand there and watch, you know, so it's not really, as long as I'm not like running through some like, you know, corporate building. Which I'd do.
You done that?
Well, I did it at ministry.
Turntables.
I did it at ministry. In their offices.
What did they do?
They were just
did they like it?
They watched, yeah.
Because it's ministry, isn't it?
Yeah, we collab posted on it.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
So now you're taking the music outside.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going back to what Grime started off as. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, we're just gonna do it. Do a set.
Just do it.
We're just gonna clash. If we start fighting at the end of it, we start fighting, but we're just gonna clash.
Yeah.
And it's like what you're doing now of taking it outside to the people, and you know, there's times where it's just you and an MC.
Yeah.
And it's just you two.
Yeah.
I don't know what time of the day it is, whether it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
or 10 p.m. And there is no one there. There's no crowd. It's just the person performing outside.
Yeah.
It strips back everything, but also gives musicians a platform to showcase what they're able to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and giving back. That's, I don't know. You know, when I look at it, and not a lot of people would do that. Do you know what I mean? That's a big thing that you do, because I feel like this is just my personal opinion on when it comes to like music at the moment. Of like, I feel like we had a massive wave of black music, whether it was, you know, we had grime and then UK rap and then drill and people getting chart success that I feel like we'd never seen. And to see what you're doing of, you know, listen, we're going back to square one. I've got the turntables, I'm gonna write, and you're playing some real grime instrumentals, you know, bruv. Some of the tracks you're playing, I sit there, I'm like, bruv, we used to listen to this in youth club, bruv. Oh shit, you're playing some tunes, man.
Thank you.
And like, I feel like it's just taking all of the, whether it's the record labels or the, you got to talk to I don't know how it works in music. You got to talk to the manager, and it's going back to the bare bones a little bit. How do you feel with that? Because that must be a joyous feeling to kind of be, you know, mentioned in the sense of like, yeah, man, like Mac 10, like, he's bringing the thing back again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But do you know what? At first, it was super daunting, and I don't think I was trying to get to this point. From the beginning, obviously, I'm out the gate like, yo, Chip, like, yo, or DMing people like, yo, come here. And they're looking at it like, boy, I'm not sure, I don't know what's going on there. Are you all right? Do you know what I mean? Like, some people I used to get phone calls of people asking me, am I all right? They genuinely thought I wasn't all right.
They thought you was going through an episode?
Yes. They thought I wasn't all right.
Really?
Honestly.
You was
I used to
outside?
get calls. Yeah, am I all right? What's going on? I'm Mac, I got a call. Someone's telling me to check up on you. To be honest, people didn't understand it. But I'm like, I'm good. I'm living my best life. This is what I'm doing. I was just outside. I was just outside. So... yeah, I think getting it up to the point where people did want to sort of collaborate, partner, or do things, you know, it was heartwarming, you know, to think like, wow, people actually taking what I'm doing serious, because I went through a long period of not being taken serious. I felt, you know, so.
And speaking of heartwarming, I go on YouTube one day, I'm scrolling, and then I'm like, Dizzee Rascal and Wiley. Yeah. And I was like, what? I swear to you, I looked at the date it was posted, and it was like, this was posted 3 days ago. And I was like, nah, this must be maybe like an old set or something. But I see that the video's in high definition, do you know what I mean? Already I'm like, well, what's this then? Because you know, sometimes you can go on YouTube and it might be like, I don't know, like a clickbait.
Yeah.
I said, there's no way. There's no way. How did that conversation even start? Because before I even watched it, I've sent that to the WhatsApp group. Like, I think I watched I'll be like, about 5 seconds. And when I seen it, we're both there in person. I said, that went straight to the WhatsApp group. And you know, like sometimes you'll send something, or me and the guys will send something to the WhatsApp group. Some people watch it, some people don't. And within the first 2-3 minutes, I'm getting fire emojis on the video, innit? All the boys. And I just sat and watched this video in pure silence. Where we're at now in life, where I had a cup of tea, I had my sandwiches. I said to my girl, I said, babes, don't bother me. I'm trying to watch this. I was concentrating on every part of that video, because a part of me, I had so many questions. I was like, okay, so what? They're really together, like back to back. How did that conversation even start? Dizzee Rascal and Wiley. I had to. I wanted to ask you this as soon as you got in the room.
Yeah,
but I said I had to compose myself. I was like, let's speak about the jacket first. Let's settle in. Cool. So how did that come about?
I think, well, I did an Essence with Dizzee, and that was dope. That was dope, and I feel like we created a vibe that was like the whole Sidewinder days. There's a lot of nostalgia within that set, and like you explained before, it was just me and him on a rooftop, just vibes in. And I messaged Dizzee like after, and just was like, bro, do you want to do this live? I've got an idea. Like, we'll get the truck, we'll pull up in Shoreditch, announce it 3 days before.
Truck, bruv. He was DJing from the truck.
He was DJing from the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do things.
Wait, that was in Shoreditch, and the kind of underground thing near the tunnel, overground.
Near the station. And I didn't ask Wiley to attend that. Yeah. Well, I was hoping. Yeah. You could only hope. Yeah. So Dizzee wasn't even there yet. I think I looked round, and one of the first people I saw walking through was Wiley on his own, and I just thought, no way, because in my heart I want that to happen, but I'm not thinking about 20 years. I'm thinking about, for me as a fan, them two together would be sick. I'm 100%. Not thinking about you get me. So I even forgot about the beef, or if there was one. And
so have you texted him to come?
No,
you've not.
He turned up. I swear to God,
he's just
he
turned
went
up.
Wandering through like he wasn't.
Yeah, because he does that. He's just in a tracksuit. You mean a PSG tracksuit? Yeah, or Barca tracksuit. Yeah.
On his own, literally. And I said to him, "Please tell me you're staying it." He looked at me. He said, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to support you." Was his words.
You know what, right? I was gonna come by, but brother, because it's you.
No, I remember. I won't forget. He said, "I'm here to support you." Cool. So then, obviously, Dizzee's turned up. I've announced Dizzee. Make some noise to Dizzee. Everyone's making noise. I said, "There's someone else lurking about." As I've said that, Dizzee's just shouted up, "Mac! Just call him here, let's do it. Tell him to come over." I said, yeah. All right, cool. I said, right, make some noise for Wiley. And then Dizzee was on the truck. When Wiley got on the truck, everyone just went mental. And then I was there. If you watch it, I'm in awe as a fan. I'm not aware of what's actually happening. Even afterwards, I'm not aware of what's happening. I think it's definitely, I caught a moment. But I wasn't aware I caught a moment till like I sat down that evening and I was like, okay, shit. Something more than what I thought happened. Yeah. I just wanted to party, if I'm honest. I'll be honest, that's all I'm about, Mo. I just want to have moments and vibes with people. No one vibes anymore. Do you know what I mean? They got their phones out, or it's some foolishness. I come and perform my tune and I go. That's not the era I grew up in. I grew up in where we vibes. You get me? So that's my thing. That's all my thing is I want to enjoy myself and other people to enjoy themselves how we used to. Not the phone and I turn up, I do my tune and I don't even vibe out to my own tune properly. It's like it's not the same. Do you know what I mean? Everyone wants to do a concert. I want to rave. Yeah.
I said, I want to make some tunes, man.
That's all that was, and that's what happened, and that's all what, if I'm honest, that's what my thing's always been about. And anything that happens outside of that, great. You know? I hope to always be that way. You know, obviously we've got to live, we've got to earn, and certain things have to be done in a certain way. But my whole ethos, I want it to be just authentic and vibes. That's it.
So when you've got Dizzee Rascal, you've got Wiley.
Yeah.
They're going back to back. Because I was watching it, and there's a part of me that I feel like for you, it's like, I don't want to stop DJing, you know?
Yeah.
I'll keep going as long as...
Yeah, 100%.
I guess you're the DJ, so it's very easy to be like, all right, cool, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
But it almost like, if I don't stop the music, they will keep going.
Yeah. But also, you want to leave a bit of FOMO. You don't want to overdo it. It's really important to know when to stop. Don't let them go like that and then it goes. No, capture that moment and leave them like, oh. You know, so that's there's some of that as well. You've got to be strategic in the timing.
How's the reaction been? Because again, I was as excited just to ask you how it all came about. But it's after it's happened now, and you know, I felt like even when it was up, it was just like, there you go, I've got it. Some people could sit on that for a few weeks and keep teasing it. Guys, check in, man. This time, 10 o'clock.
It's important for me to do things and do them quickly. And just get them out there. I think with something like that, if we didn't do it, someone would have uploaded little snippets and we had it ready. We was editing that night straight back. Yeah, but I had it ready that night to go.
Yeah.
You know, but it was so late. Like, it was probably finished about 12 or 1 in the morning, but it was just ready to go at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So we just let it go.
So being a DJ now, what's your thoughts on being a DJ now? Because there is this, I guess it's like a fine balance of, you know, I discover DJs now on SoundCloud or YouTube that are in different parts of the world, and I'm like, oh, I love the way they mix this with that, or they got great mixes, transitions, whatever you want to call it. And almost like anyone can pretty much DJ. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you get, you know, some of those USB and you can press the Q button.
Yeah. The sync button, you mean? The sync.
That's the one,
sync, yeah.
And it auto syncs it.
Yeah.
So how was it for you? Because I guess it's like, you're a pioneer who started on, and I always hear some of these debates through DJs and friends I know, where it's like, you know, going back to, I don't know, vinyls or like, because there's always those that, but can they do it? It's like, can they do it at a rainy day in Stoke? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where do you stand in this? Because you're a pioneer. You're going to have a new generation who are kind of listening to every word you say and what you do, you know. But where are you with DJing now? Because I feel like, you know, like online, you know, keep scrolling, you'll see someone do a mix of something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? DJs are the new celebrity now, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know?
I think with that, I mean, I am old school and I'm all for promoting the actual craft of DJing, like mixing technical stuff and finding ways to stand out. It's great. But for me, I will always say selection. Like, selection is key. If you can't select, like, if a DJ wants to sync and you want to get into DJing and it's gonna like make you pay interest into DJing and you get to enjoy the feeling of being a DJ, go for it. Just focus on your selection. Anyone who's out there saying, oh, these DJs who sync, I'm like, we're in a new age. Right? And it's going to introduce new people into this, and the DJs to keep the music alive and all of that, in my opinion anyway. And in clubs and stuff, we need more DJs and let them introduce themselves that way and just focus on your selection. It's about you're performing for a party, you want to get the party started, you're there to entertain, whether you're syncing or not, who cares? No one knows if I'm syncing or not. You know, and that person, just focus on your selection, don't ignore the noise of that, and don't make anyone feel like you're not a DJ because you're syncing. You learn that. If you've got to learn backwards, learn the backwards, but who cares? I don't care anyway.
Do you ever just want to say to a DJ, but can you do it on vinyl though?
No.
Can you do it? No.
Like, you know, I think there's so many layers to DJ, and for me it's a science, you know. I don't look at it as there's two decks and you just mix the two tunes. There's a lot of stuff going on in your thought process. It's almost saying to a footballer, you just run and kick the ball. Do you know what I mean? Just pass it. There's a whole lot of things going on, you know, before that even happens. You get me? So it's a similar thing.
So now as a DJ, you're creating these iconic moments with, you know, your shows that you're doing and having the likes of Dizzee Rascal and Wiley, which is interesting because we sit there previously and we're speaking about, you know, archived moments and stuff, and knowing that now you've captured that, and that was, you know, there'll be people watching that in the next 20 years and your name is in that conversation. Do you know what I mean? That's the first time I have seen that in my lifetime of being like, raw, Wiley and Dizzee Rascal. And the way it was uploaded, I was like, again, I was scrolling, I was like, oh, raw, I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, but it's like, you know, now you're in this place of like, you have this archive from, you know, being in Nasty Crew and who your family are, and some things like you're saying where you don't have some of these dub plates, but you're creating new archive of giving these artists the the pleasure of just performing, you know, when there's no label, there's nothing. It's, you know, whatever time you're filming, you're shooting in Oxford Street. It's this new archive that now is on YouTube that anyone can consume anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Which is taking you to different places. Where is it taking you now as a DJ? Because it's like I was saying, I feel like DJs are the new celebrity. I know there's kids now who know what the DJ looks like. They can see how you mix. You can teach them essentially on like a TikTok.
Yeah.
So where is that taking you? Because it must open it up to, I don't know whether it's brand deals, residencies. You are now the superstar. Do you know what I mean? It's not the man with the mic. It's the DJ. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think that to hear that is good for me, because I just think if it can get other people into it and the DJs can feel that way, that's great, because I always probably wanted to be who I am today, but couldn't see how it was achievable. But I always felt that I could do it. But it's just, I don't know, I just sort of just had an idea and ran with it. And I just feel like to do something like this, you just got to be confident and go for it. And to your question, I think where this goes for me, I think, is production and the stuff I put out. It will be, you know, on my label. You know, I'm going into clothing and fashion, and just it sort of widening my horizons, let's say. You know, so residencies, like you said, there's brand deals. You know, so just got to find ways to elevate and up the production and other concepts of content. You know, I want to keep going, and for me, the pressure now is what next. You know, just always what next, because you know.
And speaking of next, you got a residency at Kiss Extra.
At Kiss Extra at the moment till the end of the year. So yeah,
that's huge, man. Because that's on the airways.
It's on the airways,
which is like, when I think of a medium of entertainment, yes, you got podcasts, you got television, but radio is like one of the original forms of communication. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've got a residency. How does this feel now? Because I guess it's probably a lot different from just, I got to go outside and create this, you know, this music video. Well, not to say music video, but I'm going to play some music. I've got an artist, or I've got, you know, Mac 10 and friends. I've got to get everyone together. I've got to, you know, I'm on the phone to Dizzee. I've got Wiley there. I can create something. Now you're taking it to people, and they're going to be tuning in, and they're like, oh, I'm not familiar. Like, you know, you're going to get people that are like, oh, I'm not familiar with the music you play. You'll be introducing yourself to a new audience around the world, because that's where radio goes now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how is this starting to feel? Because I feel like, radio is just like, it's not pirate. There's no DTI. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, I think in a sense, like with what I've created, some would argue that I may not need to go on radio, but I think different. I think for me, I've always been a fan of radio. I've come from that era, and I think it gives me the opportunity, like you said, to get to reach a new audience, also to showcase that I don't just play one genre, and it allows me to sort of open that up and explore new music, bring people in with their new music. It just gives me another platform to give other people a voice as well. As well as showcase that I can play different genres. So yeah, for me it's good, and it's good.
And are you trying to change the way that people are going to listen to radio? Because you have a style and you have a consistency of how you do your videos, where it's very raw. It's like you're saying, I'm going to go to the Ministry of Sound corporate building and we're going to play. Whereas when it's radio, it's like public radio, there's certain rules that you got to stick by. You can't break the mold. But are you planning on keeping the authenticity that you have grown to grab an audience from? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important for me to do that. I think if I'm on a station like that, I'm there because of what I'm doing at the moment. So I think it's really important, and I can't do anything else but authentic. If it don't feel right, it won't last with me. You know, I have to do things that are authentic, or I'd rather not do it. I don't care what the person says, or do you know what I mean? I'm one of those. I'm quite stubborn with what I'm doing, so I won't really conform to a level of it's not enjoyable.
Yeah,
you know.
So then, when you look at your end, right, of where you are, because I feel like you've had a really beautiful full circle moment in some ways of being part of an iconic group as DJ, producer, that some people would have heard, like, things that you've produced. They would have heard you on radio, but as a DJ. Didn't get to hear your voice, didn't get to see your face in some of those early Grime days. To then come full circle to the point where you are on Oxford Street, you are bringing Dizzee Rascal and Wiley together. You're on Kiss, you got N.A.S.T.Y and Friends, you got brand deals, and now you're at this full circle moment where there's a new generation of DJs, like you're saying, where you're saying, like, if the way you learn to DJ is pressing the sync button, and so be it. As long as the tracks are good, the tracks are good. So where does that lead you now in terms of your end in some ways? Because you're going to be the reference point for a lot of DJs.
Yeah.
You already are.
Yeah.
There's DJs out there who, when they, like you said, like EZ, EZ, when I watched him do this, and it'll be the same thing. There'll be DJs out there that was like, this man is mixing with the turntable in this hand, and the artist there's a mic, and how are you doing that? Because I'm just used to being here. So now you are the new reference.
Yeah.
So how do you start to position yourself as you get older and as you get into a space of, you're the godfather of this thing? Do you know what I mean? How do you start to look at that part of the second chapter of your life as a musician?
When you say how do I start to look at it, in what sense? In
a sense of, what do you plan for the legacy to be? Because yes, people can look back at what you've done before, but like, again, everyone coming in, there'll be people watching, Dizzee Rascal and Wiley and be like, right, because you just did the selection. So already they're like, okay, I'm on the selection now. I don't need to worry about mixing.
So I think that's where, if we're speaking on legacy, I think elevating from that, I've got something I'm working on where obviously I hold those turntables like an instrument. So we're taking that live with a live band. That's my next thing. So the N.A.S.T.Y live. Okay. That's I think crazy. So you can imagine, and if you can't imagine, just know that it's going to be a performance.
N.A.S.T.Y live.
Yeah, N.A.S.T.Y live.
Fair enough.
So that's the next thing, and obviously, I feel like having a label and using that as a blueprint, and then that way a legacy can continue to grow, so we can sign people's music and people come on the platform, and stuff happens within some of these moments that can go and should be a track, so we can produce that, we can put that out, so we just want to start taking some ownership and also providing people with that lane as well, and do it in the right way, so that if things are being distributed correctly, promoted correctly, we've got a platform to do both. So do that, build some legacy around there, and focus on business as well. So to show that, I think this is more for me. I'm not one of those ones that say, I'm doing this for my best way of leading by example is just doing me. And if it resonates with you, then it's good, isn't it? I'm not doing it for the people to, it's like, it's better if I just do it genuinely from a good place, and then it may resonate. So I feel like, just use this opportunity that I've got while eyes are on me to explore as many opportunities as possible. And fashion is one of them. If I've got eyes on me, I dress well. Yeah. So we'll do fashion, innit?
I guess what you're saying is not pigeon. It's not pigeonholing yourself in a place of like, I'm just a DJ. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're a brand. Do you know what I mean? It's like N.A.S.T.Y is a brand of, whether it's fashion, live events. It's still what people like on social media. Yeah. But I guess it's also, you're bringing music to people in a way that I feel like I don't think I've seen a DJ do, in a way that, yes, I've seen a DJ in a club and I've seen DJ do, events. A lot of DJ do live events, whether it's with orchestras and stuff. But there's a rawness that you have that I feel is really, really cool and unique. you know, in a sense of like you're doing stuff in the street. Like, it's interesting what you're saying about having the turntables as an instrument. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the one thing I always pick up on.
Yeah.
I'm like, how's he doing this, man? Is it wireless? Like, but it's amazing to see, and the fact that you are bringing through so many new artists, but still giving the platform to emerging artists, or not sorry, emerging artists, but artists that we know and we love, you know, and they're not getting forgotten about, because that can be very easy at the same time and be like, well, let's get the new person on. Yeah. You know, it's a major credit to what you give to the scene. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
And even for me, that little teenage boy comes out and I'm like, oh, right, where they going back to back? Yeah. Like, I can't thank you enough for that, you know?
Thank you.
Because, bro, when I sat down, it's funny because we all said, like, right, we're getting old now because we're watching this video, like, drinking a cup of tea or, like, on YouTube. You know, that wouldn't have even been possible back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Watching on YouTube and stuff, you know? But no, it's a pleasure to have you on the pod. But, yeah, for what you're doing for your legacy and just knowing that there's so many DJs out there that want to hear what you have to say. Do you know what I mean? And I don't feel like a lot of DJs get the platform like this to express openly of, like, you know, just even that question of, like, it's not about mixing. You know, there'll be a lot of DJs that I'm not mixing tonight, you know? You know, or even with a drum machine, you know, like I wanted to get a drum machine, but no, and I was like, this ain't for me, man. I can't lie, I might have to just blow off the dust of that machine tonight, you know, bro. You see me making beats, bro.
Yeah, do it.
But no, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the pod, man. To see what you're doing, bro, I admire it, man.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean, bruv? Like, and I know some of your brothers, they come to the shows and stuff and whatnot. So, yeah man, appreciate you coming on the pod, Mac 10. And thanks, my friend, this has been your beginning, middle, and end. Thank you very much, bro. Yes. Thank you, man.
Yes.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Now, a lot goes into making each episode. I know you hear my voice, but there's a team behind the scenes who help make it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd really, really appreciate if you could show the love to them by giving us 5 stars. And if you also have the time, please leave us a review. It's always appreciated, and we love reading the comments. And of course, we want to keep making it better. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Peace.